What if I told you that the digital world you interact with literally every single day was built by a guy who lived over 1,200 years ago? Seriously, a man whose name most of us have probably never even heard of. Yet he is the unseen architect of our modern reality, a brilliant mind whose ideas became the absolute bedrock of modern math, computer science, and engineering.
Think about it. Every single time you unlock your smartphone, search for a random fact on Google, grab some cash from an ATM, or, stream a video just like this one, you are directly benefiting from his work. All of those incredibly modern actions, they are fundamentally powered by ancient logic.
So welcome to our explainer on Muhammad ibn Musa Al-Khwarizmi, the architect of the digital age. Today, historians remember him as the true father of algebra, the absolute pioneer of algorithms, and honestly, just one of the greatest scientific minds in human history. We're going to unpack the incredible story of the man who basically helped invent the future.
Section 1. The Unseen Digital Architect. Bridging the 9th and 21st centuries.
Let's just put it bluntly. Without him, computers as we know them might not even exist. It's wild to think about, but a man from the 9th century laid the absolute intellectual groundwork for the 21st century tech you've got in your pocket right now. Without Al-Khwarizmi, modern algorithms might never have seen the light of day, and the math that runs our world would look completely different.
Moving on to Section 2, Inside the House of Wisdom during the Islamic Golden Age.
So born around 780 CE in what is now Uzbekistan, Al-Khwarizmi came up in an era that was literally obsessed with knowledge. We don't know a ton about his early childhood, but early in the 9th century, his absolute passion for learning took him straight to Baghdad. And back then, Baghdad was one of the largest, most advanced cities on the planet. He joined the famous House of Wisdom there, and by 820 CE, he published a math book that would, no joke, alter the course of human history.
Now, the House of Wisdom wasn't just your average local library. Oh no, it was this massive global hub of learning backed by Caliph al-Ma'mun. You had brilliant minds from all over the Islamic world gathering to study everything: science, super advanced math, medicine, ancient philosophy, even mapping the stars. And Al-Khwarizmi? He didn't just study these subjects, he took them, flipped them on their head, and created entirely new fields of knowledge.
Which brings us to Section 3, the birth of algebra and creating a logical system.
Okay, check this out. The Arabic word Al-Jabr, which means completion and balancing, comes straight from the title of his 820 CE book. And guess what? That exact word is the direct origin of our modern word algebra. Sure, math existed before him, but there were no organized equations, no variables, no structured way to solve really complex problems. He changed all of that. He basically took math out of the clouds and turned it into structured, step-by-step logic to solve real everyday problems. I mean, imagine trying to divide up a complicated inheritance, or measure land boundaries for a farm, or plan out a building without a reliable formula. It would be a nightmare, right? Today, every kid sweating over algebra homework is following the exact path Al-Khwarizmi laid out over 12 centuries ago to solve those precise types of issues.
Let's hit Section 4, the origin of algorithms and the language of computers.
This is where it gets really crazy. When his works were eventually translated into Latin, his name was written as Algorithmi. Over time, people mangled the pronunciation a bit, and that evolved directly into the modern word, you guessed it, algorithm. So his actual literal name became the word for the hidden instructions powering our search engines, social media feeds, and artificial intelligence. His logical step-by-step method is the exact foundation of computational thinking. It's like a recipe. First, you take a messy, unstructured problem. Second, you apply a strict, logical, step-by-step procedure. And finally, you get a reliable, accurate solution out of it. Long before we harnessed electricity, let alone dreamt up the internet, this guy engineered the intellectual machinery of the digital age.
Section 5. Revolutionizing our numbers and the power of zero.
Picture this. Back then, people were still using incredibly cumbersome numeral systems. Imagine trying to do long division or, complex multiplication using Roman numerals. It's basically impossible. Plus, they didn't even have a concept of zero. Well, Al-Khwarizmi studied the Hindu numeral system from India, instantly saw its massive advantages, and vigorously pushed for its use across the Islamic world.
By championing this Hindu-Arabic system, he introduced the concept of place value and, crucially, the number zero. The idea of nothingness as a number was a total game changer. It made calculations ridiculously simpler and way more efficient. Eventually, his writings brought the digits 0 through 9 right into Europe. Honestly, without him, modern accounting, science, and engineering would have been held back by centuries. We use these numbers every single day, entirely thanks to him.
All right, Section 6. Mapping Earth and Exploring Heavens, Beyond Pure Mathematics.
Yeah, he wasn't just a numbers guy. Under the Caliph, he authored texts that actually corrected the geographical coordinates for cities and totally refined global maps. So he's vastly improving humanity's understanding of the Earth itself. But wait, there's more. He also created these super influential astronomical tables to predict planetary movements. He essentially proved that his math could map the ground we walk on and systematically explain the stars above us.
Finally, Section 7, a legacy that never ended, fueling the future. Look, his ideas definitely didn't stay locked up in Baghdad. During the Middle Ages, his texts were translated into Latin, completely blowing the minds of European scholars with their sophistication. By bringing these numerical and algebraic methods to Europe, his discoveries literally fueled the mathematical revolution of the European Renaissance. He became this incredible bridge connecting the ancient world right to our modern tech, crossing borders, languages, religions, and centuries.
There's a famous saying, every computer program relies on algorithmic thinking. And it is so true. Every calculator, every app, every piece of software uses principles connected to his original discoveries. Every programmer and data analyst coding today is working inside a framework that traces directly back to him. His ideas survived empires rising and falling to continually shape our civilization.
So, when we think of the modern world, we usually picture things like satellites, smartphones, and AI. But behind all that glossy tech is a long chain of ideas. And without a doubt, the strongest link in that entire chain is Muhammad ibn Musa Al-Khwarizmi. The next time you run an online search or unlock your phone, just take a second. Will you remember the unseen 9th century genius who literally put the digital future right in the palm of your hand?